Yo guys, Punkrat with another video. So if you played back in TBC or Vanilla, I'm pretty sure you're aware of this concept. But if you haven't, this video might actually be news to you. Back in the original versions of the game, you would constantly be visiting your class trainer as you leveled up. With this, you would be learning new spells as well as learning higher ranked versions of the spells that you already know. That new rank would not overtake your lower rank spell, it would just add another spell. So for instance, if you had rank 7 of Flash Heal, then your spell book you'd have 7 Flash Heals, and you'd have access to every single rank of that spell. This is unlike we see in the modern version of the game today, where you don't even have to visit a class trainer at all. Spells are automatically learned as you level up and they scale up with you as you go. So these lower ranked versions of your spells, a lot of the time are extremely useful, if not just straight up better than the higher ranked versions if used tactically for a variety of different reasons. In this video, I'm going to cover the theory of downranking spells in Classic WoW. Let's get into it. Alright, so the most evident use for downranking spells is with healing or with healing spells. For any ability that requires mana to cast, the lower rank you use of that spell, the mana cost of that said spell will reduce significantly. Also, for many of those different spells, not only is the mana cost reduced, but the actual cast time as well. The best example of this concept is Healing Touch for Druids. So let's take a look at the different ranks, and let's also take into account that there's a talent on the Druid tree that reduces the cast time of their Healing Touch by 0.5 seconds. So I'll be noting the cast speed based on that talent rather than the baseline. So rank 1 has a 1 second cast time, and it heals for 37 to 51 for 25 mana. Rank 2 is a 1.5 second cast time that heals for 88 to 112 for 55 mana. Rank 3 is a 2 second cast time, and it heals for 195 to 243 for 110 mana. Rank 4 is a 2.5 second cast time and heals for 363 to 445 for 185 mana. All the way up to rank 11, which you see has a 3 second cast time after the 0.5 second cast reduction and heals for 2267 to 2677 for 800 mana. So rank 11 costs 800 mana, and clearly that's not feasible to cast this spell consistently at all. I mean, it's pretty much useless. You're not using it unless it's absolutely necessary to top off the main tank or top yourself off with a Nature Swiftness instant cast. So this means you're going to be downranking the spell pretty much always. Those baseline healing values are also just that. They're baseline. Each rank has a healing power coefficient. So the more healing power bonus that you have on your character, the more efficient your lower rank, lower cast time, lower mana cost abilities will be. As a druid, you're mainly focusing on rank 3 to rank 6 healing touch while generally being regimented to tank healing while keeping your hots up on the main tank. So you're basically always spamming lower rank healing touch abilities in order to be more mana efficient. Paladins have a similar deal, except it's focused on Flash of Light instead of Healing Touch, obviously. It's also different in the sense that the lower to higher ranks of Flash of Light don't get a cast time reduction by the increase in rank. It's always a 1.5 second cast time throughout. It's more about the mana factor. As a Paladin, especially once you get high crit rating, when itemized for later tier raid content, you have the ability to turn your rank 1 Flash into a surprisingly potent heal. Since you crit so often, you increase the effectiveness of your rank 1 heal significantly, considering a crit is basically double potency. Not to mention the heal is more potent because most of the time you have Blessing of Light applied on the target, which increases incoming healing from Paladin spells on that target. A Holy Paladin's action bar is basically lined up with multiple versions or multiple ranks of Flash of Light. So rank 1 is your filler heal, and it's only really usable with a substantial amount of bonus healing. So if your gear is really bad, you're in greens and you just hit level 60, I would probably not use rank 1 heal. It's not going to be strong enough. But once you get good gear, rank 1 becomes surprisingly potent. As I just stated, rank 1 is a nice filler. It's a basic heal that you spam all over the raid like a holy bukkake when the raid is taking light damage. Rank 4 or around rank 4 Flash of Light is a stronger option for when the raid is taking significant damage, or you feel that it's a necessity to maybe have a slightly stronger flash going out. And max rank, so rank 6 Flash of Light, is for panic mode. When you need to pump out heals to stabilize the group, that's when you'll opt for your max rank just to stabilize and then opt for a lower one after that. I've heard many times online that, oh, once you get BWL gear on a Paladin, you could pretty much just spam max rank Flash all day, and this is not true. Max rank Flash, even in tier 3, will run you The way a Paladin can endlessly spam Flash is by consciously deciding which rank that he wants to use as the fight progresses. That's the backbone of downranking as a healer. It's about making a conscious decision of which heal you need when. You need to get to a point where you're feeling out each rank and its healing potential. So if you're going to heal a mage who's at 80% HP, for instance, you could probably top him off with a rank 1 or rank 2 or rank 3, depending on your gear. If someone someone's missing 40% of their HP and you need to top them off really quick, you might want to use a rank 4 to get them topped off. And if everyone's dying, you'll just spam rank 6 to top everyone off. And this is obviously in an effort to avoid wasting mana or overhealing targets. So it's all about feeling it out, and it adds a lot of depth to healing. Priests and Shamans have a similar concept with their quick heals. So priests have flash heal and Shamans have lesser healing wave, which both work very similarly to Flash of Light, except they don't have the crit mechanic on it. They also have greater healing and healing wave, which can be downranked as well. It's a longer cast, stronger base heal, which you could have multiple ranks out that you're using depending on how much damage the tank is taking. Both priests and Shamans are also the best AoE healers in Classic. In fact, they're the only classes in the game that have actual AoE healing spells. Shamans have chain heal, which can indeed be downranked for mana saving purposes during light AoE damage going through on a raid. And priests have prayer of healing, which only heals their group but still can be downranked as well and used in a certain situation. Okay, so I'm sure you guys get it. You downrank your healing spells and use different ranks consciously depending on what the situation calls for and save mana in the end. Okay, so now let's get more into some utility downranking. One of the most common and probably most known low rank spells used in Classic WoW is Frostbolt. So here you see the tooltip. We got rank 1 Frostbolt. It's got a 1.5 second cast speed, and with improved Frostbolt, that's a 1 second cast speed. Super fast. It also has a 40% slow for 5 seconds, where rank 11 has a 40% slow for 9 seconds. So the slow is just as potent on rank 1, it just doesn't last as long. Rank 1 Frostbolt is a very useful utility spell. It can be used in PvE, but it's mainly used and its biggest strength is in PvP. For example, you can cast a sheep on your enemy target, hard cast a Pyroblast, then immediately follow that Pyroblast with a rank 1 Frostbolt into a Fire Blast. This will combo your enemy with a big spell and follow it up, adding a quick slow on top of that in order to reduce the enemy's ability to close the gap between you. With the talent Frostbite and Permafrost, your rank 1 Frostbolt has a 15% chance to freeze the target for 5 seconds, and the potency of the slow increases to 50% for 8 seconds instead of 5 seconds. Insane value for a near free mana cost ability on a 1 second cast time. So along the same line as rank 1 Frostbolt, we've got rank 1 Blizzard. So just like Frostbolt, Blizzard has a chance to proc Frostbite. So it's an AoE spell that you cast in a certain area with the ability to proc a 5-second rune on all targets that it hits. And that's for each actual Blizzard tick. There's also a talent called Improved Blizzard, which when you get it 3 out of 3 maxed out, it's a 65% slow to all targets caught under the Blizzard. This spell is insanely useful again, just like rank 1 Frostbolt, in PvE and in PvP. Max rank Blizzard uses an extremely large amount of mana, and it's going to run you out of mana very fast. Whereas rank 1, the mana cost is almost a non-issue. If you have a group of opposing faction players trying to escape, you can rank 1 Blizzard, slow them all, potentially root a bunch of them, and have your team come in and slaughter them. Or if the enemy is carrying the flag trying to get into tunnel, you could just rank 1 Blizzard and slow everybody while your team's collapsing. Or in PvE, if you need to control a big AoE pack, just spam rank 1 Blizzard and keep them controlled while your team's kiting or your team's dealing with them. Very nice utility spell and super low mana cost. A mix of rank 1 Frostbolt, rank 1 Blizzard, and Polymorph is the Mage's best friend in Warsong Gulch. I call it the Control King Mage. The next utility spell is Banish, the Warlock spell. There's 2 ranks of Banish available, and the relevant difference between the 2 ranks is the duration of the Banish itself. So rank 1 Banish lasts 20 seconds, and rank 2 Banish lasts 30 seconds. Sometimes when you just need a quick Banish on a target and you don't need that entire 30-second duration, the raid leader will end up asking the Warlocks to use rank 1 Banish instead of rank 2. This is to avoid having to wait too long for a Banish to end, when everyone's waiting around the mob just for the Banish to break. If you put a lesser lasting Banish on that target, it'll break faster and everyone's happier. Like on MC Trash, for example. So next we got Shaman Shocks. Shamans are notorious for not being mana efficient at all, especially as enhancement or elemental. Shocks cost a lot of mana at their high rank. Earth Shock is an instant cast nature damage spell which has a spell interrupt tied into it, so it's basically a ranged kick. Every shaman should have max rank Earth Shock keybound as well as rank 1. When you're needed to interrupt a heal in PvE or interrupt a spell in PvP, a lot of the times you might want to opt for a rank 1 shock instead. It costs basically no mana, doesn't do any damage really, but it has the same exact interrupt function as the max rank version of the spell, so using rank 1 Earth Shock is very commonly used as an interrupt for shamans. This next one is something that I haven't heard many people talk about, and it's probably one of the better ones on the list. So Shadow Priests have this talent called Blackout, which when maxed out has a 10% chance to stun the target for 3 seconds. When playing a Shadow Priest, if you're running for your life, running away from an enemy, kiting him, you could pretty much spam rank 1 Shadow Word Pain on that target over and over again to essentially fish for a blackout proc on that target. Each successive Shadow Word Pain that you apply has a chance to proc the stun, and if you land the stun, you could turn around Mind Blast combo into them, into a max rank Shadow Word Pain off of it and drop them, or just run away. So sticking with priests, we've got Holy Nova. Similar to rank 1 Flash of Light, or any heal really, the base healing of Holy Nova is increased by the bonus healing that you have on your gear, right? Similar to the situation that I described as a Shadow Priest, when you're fishing for blackout stuns while you're running away. While running away to try to survive on a Holy Priest, or even on a Shadow Priest if you have Holy Nova talented, depending on whatever funky build that you're running, you could apply a Renew on yourself and spam a lower cost, lower ranked version of Holy Nova over and over again to have constant little healing ticks going on you as you're running away. So basically, as you're running away, you'll have constant little micro heals going on you that are instant casting. You don't have to stop and cast for, because most heals are hard casted in vanilla and there's very few instant cast heals. It's situational, but it has its uses. So with spells like Holy Nova, which are AoE blasts surrounding the caster, you could obviously use these spells to take rogues out of stealth when they're around you, or when you feel like there's a rogue around you. Instead of using max rank, when you're just trying to run around spamming a spell trying to take the rogue out, instead of dumping your entire mana pool trying to get him out of stealth, you could just use a rank 1 instead. So rank 1 Arcane Explosion, rank 1 Holy Nova, rank 1 Consecrate, rank 1 Hellfire from Warlocks are all viable. And of course rank 1 Rain of Fire, rank 1 Blizzard, rank 1 Hurricane from Druids, for a ground targeted AoE spell to try to get a rogue out without bruising your mana pool. And also, in relation to Paladin Consecration, as a Paladin tank for instance, a lot of the times a Paladin will end up opening the fight with a max rank Consecration and then following up with lower ranks in order to save mana throughout the fight, since they go if they just keep spamming max rank. But let's be real here, Paladin tanks aren't a real thing out of, suppression room and maybe a couple odd fights in dungeons. Okay, so there's also other minor uses for downranking in the game, like rank 1 Paladin seals to bait purges from Shamans and Priests, but I'm not really going to get into any of those. I feel like I covered all of the really prevalent, important downranking mechanics in the game, so I'm going to end this one here. Hopefully this video gave you an idea about downranking and its importance in vanilla, and I feel like it's really an extra level of thought that you have to put on top of your character in order to get the most out of your character. It was a really nice, extra added layer of depth to the game back then. And I know that there's a lot of people on the forums who mirror that same opinion. This is definitely another aspect of the game where I feel like Blizzard definitely just dumbed things down over the years in an effort to quote unquote fix the game, but just ended up stripping away and taking away some of the more interesting elements. Class and character progression is super important in an MMORPG, and spell ranks definitely added to that notion a lot in my opinion. I'm curious to see what your opinion is on this topic. Do you think it was a mistake for Blizzard to remove spell ranks in the game? Let me know what you think. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, of course, you know the drill, soldiers. And with that, I'm out. Peace.